Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Alrighty, good Tuesday afternoon, Mid-Michigan. I'm First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro with a look at your forecast here as we are tracking some milder weather for today. This is actually expected to be the warmest day of this week. And as we go forward from here as well, we are going to be tracking a quiet forecast in the lead up to Christmas Day. So Christmas Day also still looks very quiet on Thursday. And then as we go into Friday, well, we do have some active weather potentially to talk about for Friday, because on Friday, we do have a First Alert weather day possible. Our next system moving through on Friday could potentially bring some more ice and freezing rain with it. So that is certainly something that we do want to monitor for you for this upcoming Friday. But let's talk about the forecast for today first. I'll take you to a live look of Birch Run. So this is a live look at I-75 in Birch Run. There's exit 136 there in the foreground. So you can see things look very quiet as of right now. We're tracking plenty of sunshine out there in Birch Run as well. So it just looks very nice as we get started here on this Tuesday, or rather this Tuesday afternoon. So perhaps if you're running out to lunch anywhere, you do have some nice weather. Here's another look at I-75 in Flint. This is Flint Township, just to the north of Miller Road. Looks great too, plenty of sunshine. So we'll be able to hold on to the sun throughout the remainder of this Tuesday. So whether it's just running out to lunch, maybe you have some last minute Christmas shopping to do as well, certainly tracking a very nice day for this here. And I would take advantage of this today, because tomorrow, even though tomorrow is also a very quiet day, it's going to be about 10 degrees colder than today. So today is going to be the warmest day of the week. So I'll take you over to the forecast here, shopping forecast for the rest of this afternoon. Even towards 3 o'clock, mostly sunny skies, and a lot of temps will be in the range of 40 to 45 degrees. I'd say on average about 43 here for much of our area. I'll actually go ahead and show you those current temperatures as well. Some areas have already even exceeded our expectations for today. Take a look at that. We have in Mount Pleasant right now 48 degrees. It is almost 50 degrees in Mount Pleasant. So hard to believe, especially that we're just a few days out from Christmas and we're tracking temps that are that warm. We also have 47 in Owasso, 45 in Flint and in Saginaw. Up north, it's taking you just a little bit longer for the clouds to clear out, but even up north, we're starting to see some sun. It's 36 in West Branch and Ascota, about 38 in Houghton Lake, but even those areas should come pretty close to 40 degrees as we go into the afternoon here. So certainly very warm for this time of year. Our normal high for today is 33 degrees. And I'll show you these high temps for today as well. So again, some of those numbers that we had already exceeding our expectations, so no doubt we have a warm Tuesday ahead of us here. Now for Christmas Day on Thursday, we're tracking a high of 36 degrees. It's going to be a mostly cloudy day, so not quite as much sun as today, but with this quiet weather that we have ahead of us for Christmas, fortunately that does mean some quiet weather for any travel. Say if on Christmas Day you're doing gifts in the morning and then going and seeing more family during the afternoon or the evening for Christmas dinner, certainly should be completely fine for any of your Christmas Day travels. So looks pretty nice there for Thursday, but a lot of those temps about 10 degrees cooler than today, just like tomorrow will be too. So this is the last of the 40s we're expecting for this week. We'll be into the 30s permanently after that into the weekend, and then potentially next week, and I'll show you this in the 7-day. We'll take a quick break here in a second. After the break, I'll show you that 7-day too. But next week, potentially starting off in the low 20s, and some of the longer term data is suggesting we may fall back into another cold weather pattern like we saw at the beginning of this month. So this warm up that we've had has no doubt been a bit temporary. We will take a quick break here though, real quick. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about that ice potential for Friday. So we'll see you real quick here after the break. Alrighty, welcome back from the break. So we are tracking potentially some icy conditions on Friday because of our next storm system moving through, which that storm system on Friday could end up bringing with it plenty of freezing rain. And even if it's not completely freezing rain, we're still tracking a chance of some sleet, potentially even a few snow showers as well. No doubt our Friday does look to be on the messier side here in the forecast. So we have a first alert weather day possible for Friday right now. We're still keeping it possible, but I would say likely at this point. We're essentially just waiting for one more round of data to come in just to kind of confirm where our thinking is on this right now. But over the last 24 hours, the trend has been increasingly likely, or showing an increasing likelihood of this freezing rain on Friday. So no doubt it's something that we do want to make you aware of because there on Friday you could still have some holiday travel. Some folks do have to go back to work on Friday as well. So we could expect to see some more slick and icy roads, travel that would take much longer than it normally would. So this is something that we just want to make you aware of for right now. We'll definitely keep you updated as we go throughout the week. And even meteorologist Diane Phillips will have a few updates for you later today as well, both in the evening newscast, but also with another live stream right here coming up at 9 o'clock this evening. But this is something that we do want to make you aware of for Friday. Now, the timing of this does look to have this starting pretty much completely on Friday. So even going into Thursday night, after your Christmas festivities, everything should actually still be pretty quiet for the drive home. So dry roads even as we go into Thursday night, but then it will be pretty much right as the day starts on Friday where we start to see that ice moving in. That would create those slick roads, and then more ice would still be around even into the afternoon. So that's also another key factor with this ice potential on Friday, is the fact that this could be a bit more of a prolonged event where the freezing rain would be here both into the morning and as we go into the afternoon. But I'll go ahead and take you to the first alert hour by hour just to show you kind of a sneak peek of how this is going to look. And just sort of a disclaimer here is that this is still several days away, so how this looks on the hour by hour and the timing is still very much subject to a few more adjustments here. But this is how things are looking currently. Thursday evening at about 7 o'clock, so this is Christmas evening there. Everything's still looking totally fine. We just have the cloud coverage holding on. And then even into the middle of the night, this right here is about 4 in the morning on Friday. So still very early. Also, our conditions are looking pretty good. But as we go towards 8 in the morning on Friday, you see that wintry mix starting to move in. That's the pink shading here on the map. That could be a mix of both freezing rain and sleet as well, but based off of the temperature profiles we've been seeing and really just all the data that we've seen so far for Friday suggests that that is going to be freezing rain, and that still sticks with us even to lunchtime. That right there is about noon, and then even going towards about 4 in the afternoon, some of that freezing rain could still potentially be here, so certainly something that needs to be monitored in the forecast, as again, this could end up being a bit more of a prolonged event. But with this activity moving through, it's certainly going to provide some icy roadways as well. But then once we go into Friday night, that system will leave, so a much quieter day on Saturday. And then Sunday, we do have another chance for rain and snow, but that doesn't really look to be a chance of freezing rain. So that would have a much sharper cutoff between the rain and the snow. So Sunday, not really giving us as much concern as Friday is. And you can see those highs on Friday, only up to about 32 degrees. We'll be hovering at freezing, if not even a few degrees below freezing as well. So that's where this concern comes in, especially because you have that warmer air aloft creating the rain, and then it freezes on contact with anything on the ground. So things could be pretty slippery on Friday. Now, Monday next week, that's what I was talking about too with that cool down. 22 for the high on Monday. So that storm system that we also have on Sunday could eventually be the trigger for a pattern change that'll take us all the way through next week and potentially towards the middle of January. At least that's what the long-term data is suggesting. So it does look like we may fall back into one of those patterns where daily highs are in the 20s, and then we have colder overnight lows in the teens or even some single digits as well. So I would kind of think about the weather that we had at the beginning of this December. something like that could end up unfolding again at the start of next week. So we'll also be keeping an eye on that as well. But in the meantime, until this potential ice on Friday, our weather is going to be pretty calm here through the middle of the week. And of course, that Christmas Day forecast still looks good as well. But we just want to make you aware of that ice potential for Friday, because again, that could provide some major travel impacts for our area. I do want to take you back to the map here just to kind of talk about some potential shifts if they are to occur, and especially because, for example, we've actually seen in one of our latest rounds of data the storm system potentially even moving south a little bit more as well, which would bring more sleet into play. So here on the hour by hour, this pink area that highlights this wintry mix, pretty much the southern half, if you were to sort of draw this in half, the southern half is more of the freezing rain and the northern half is more of the sleet. So what we've seen happening here is this entire system moving south just a little bit more. So that brings sleet especially more into play for some of our northern areas like Houghton Lake and Oscoda, but still keeps the freezing rain into much of the TV5 area as well. But if this system does happen to shift south, then what could happen here is that snowfall could even come more into play, especially for some of our northern areas. So I can kind of manually move this around just to kind of show you. So as I slide this entire system to the south a little bit more, notice how we're still no doubtably picking up some wintry precipitation, but we even see the snowfall starting to come into play a little bit more for our northern areas. Now, a northern shift, on the other hand, would then bring more rainfall into our area. So it takes that freezing rain north and then just more rain, which also means a warmer forecast. But right now, I'll go ahead and reset this back to where it was. This is pretty much what we're seeing, about a direct hit of that freezing rain into our area. So that's where that first alert weather day possibility comes from for Friday. But again, the general trend right now, especially over the last 24 hours, is that this system has been moving south just a little bit more, so really centering that freezing rain right onto the TV5 area. So I do think that we are going to end up seeing some slick and some icy travel there on Friday. Well, that's all we have for this update this afternoon. So First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips will be right here again on all of these same live stream channels coming up at 9 o'clock this evening. By 9 o'clock this evening, we'll have an entire new round of model data too, so she'll be able to show you that. And we are hoping, at least our goal here, is to be able to officially make a call on this First Alert weather day either sometime this afternoon. If not this afternoon, then tomorrow morning. But we just want to play this a little bit cautiously because freezing rain does have a very narrow window of conditions, and if those conditions slide in either direction, kind of like I was showing you there on the hour by hour, then it means either more snow and sleet, or it means just more rainfall, just flat out rainfall, not freezing rain. So that window of conditions is certainly very narrow, so that's why we are playing this cautiously, but we are very excited to see that next round of data because that'll give us an even more clear indication of how things could play out for your Friday. Well, in the meantime here, we hope that you have a great Tuesday afternoon and tune back in at 9 o'clock to catch meteorologist Diane Phillips with another update.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.